Welcome to the cockpit. My name's Ryan and I'll be your pilot tonight. Boys and girls, I'm all sorts of excited to talk to you about some Jets schedule expectations, stuff going on around the New York Jets. We signed our first round pick, 𝐒 to a 4-year, $20-some-odd million deal with the 5th-year option. Man, it's nice not to have to deal with that going into the season. I feel like we've gone all the way onto the eve of training camp with all of our previous first-round picks, and this gets done nice and early. Very, very much looking forward to having all the BS out of the way heading into training camp. I will have my co-host here in just a moment. So Dom will be in. He is currently playing Little League. No, not playing Little League. His kids have a Little League game. So he'll be joining shortly. The game ran a little bit late. But until then, we'll talk a little bit to the chat as you guys filter your way in. Tell you guys a little bit about my day. I feel like I haven't made any content last week. I guess probably because I didn't. That'll do it. Work's busy right now. Not a lot of stuff going on in Jetland. Things we could talk about, of course. But definitely less than pre-draft. See Jimmy in the chat. What's up, Jimmy? And Jets, good evening. Hope all is doing well. Hope everyone is doing well. I am doing well. We had Mother's Day yesterday, obviously. Becca, now mom of 2 adorable, beautiful girls. I could show you my artwork that I made. So check this out. It was going to be a gift that didn't wind up working out quite as good as I was hoping. But it's all right. I made a music note with crayons. Look at that. See? Don't let anyone tell you I'm not artistic. I couldn't find the regular Crayola crayons, so I got like the smelly ones. So anyway, there was supposed to be a phrase, like a cute saying down here at the bottom. Life without laughter would be flat. Get it? Music, laughter. Unfortunately, vinyl does not stick to cheap canvas, and I couldn't complete the Mother's Day gift I worked so hard on. So felt a little bit like a jerk. That's all right. It's the thought that counts. We got some ice cream sandwiches yesterday. Overall, solid Mother's Day. Solid Mother's Day. What up, Andrew? He says, I went to the DC Defenders game on Sunday. They were so bad it actually made me miss the Jets offense. Wow. The new league not lighting it on fire, I guess. Or at least maybe not the Defenders themselves. I actually caught a little bit of another game. I actually didn't even look at who was actually playing because I did not stay on it very long. I was just passing by. I really should have dialed it in a little bit better for the UFL type stuff. Zachary says, Corley's the one not signed yet. Yeah, no, I'm sure they'll get him signed. The big one was I shouldn't say the big one, because obviously Corley, I think, is going to play more snaps than 𝐒, at least for this year. At least I hope so. But I think they'll get Corley signed. I'm not too concerned. I saw Stiggers got signed. I think, was Travis signed? I don't know if I saw if Jordan Travis signed. We'll figure it out. I'm sure we'll be all right. What's up, Ryder and Talon's Pa? Good to see you guys. Blitz Crew, what's good, dude? Wild Wave. Have you ever figured out what a wild wave would be? Is it a wild wave in the ocean? Or is it like... Oh, God. GBH. Ryan, your pilot, everyone. Thank you. I should put this on. I actually just had my hair cut like 2 minutes ago, and I've got all that itchy hair like under my shirt, and it's driving me bonkers. I don't have time to do it. What's up, Ryder? Joey. Everyone except Corley signed so far. That makes me feel good. So Corley's last one on the list. Not upset. Wild Wave says, in the ocean. All right. Sorry. I like my iteration of your username. 𝐾𝐨𝐦 says, what's up, fellers? Nice to have you in here, Lake. Snowball. What's good? Nice to see you in here, dude. Zachary. Thoughts 49ers versus Jets week 1. Oh, is that like a rumor going around? Is that what could happen? I would love it. That would be really badass. That's a hard freaking game to start on. What is I have it pulled up here. San Francisco. So it would be away if that's how it went down. I don't mind having an away game first. And honestly, catching the 49ers, while they may not be 110% like locked in for the beginning part of the season, or at least know what the Jets could be doing, I would actually like the 49ers the first week of the season. Because I think that is I shouldn't say our best chance to win, but we have the element of surprise to some degree because there is no tape on like Rodgers being a Jet and obviously all the talent that we've added in the last year. So I would be pro Jets 49ers if that's what happens. Jeff C. Hope to meet you at a game this year. I hope to meet you too. Keep an eye out. If you haven't done so already and you want to get into our group buy, we don't actually know what the game's going to be yet. We think we're going to be doing the home opener for Talkin Jets. If you go to talkinjets.com, if you scroll to the bottom, there should be a little email thing. If you want to sign up for the email mailing letter, we don't pepper you with stuff, but anytime we do an event, I do email everyone on it. So you might get like 3-4 emails a year, if that. But if you want to check it out, we did a game last year. We'll try to do the same type of event this year. Only it'll be hopefully a Sunday day game, but we'll see. Stephen T. Ryan, I believe you are a movie guy. Yes, I am, and I've got some fun facts I can drop on you in just a second. Highly recommend the new Planet of the Apes movie. All 4 of the newer films are excellent. Go Jets. I don't think I've seen the 3rd one. I did see the trailer for the 4th one, so I have to catch up and rewatch. I actually got some news. I'm showing around a location scout for a movie that's going to be, I think, potentially filmed where I work. But tomorrow I'm going with a location scout to show them the properties. And this person that stars in these movies is a big Jet fan. So I'll leave it at that. I won't go too far into it right now because I don't know how much I'm actually allowed to share. But kind of cool. Frank from Flatbush. I prefer the Cardinals or Titans week 1. I don't want the Titans week 1 just because the Titans game away is the Titans game, like is the away game I would like to go to. And if we're going to do the home opener as our ticket buy, I don't particularly want to do like massive travel thing to Tennessee and then big group buy excitement week 2. So I hope Tennessee's like maybe the beginning of October or like a little bit less chaos. That would be fun. Wild Wave says, yeah, I do be tweaking sometimes. So yeah, that works too. Okay. Yeah. So my wild waving flailing arms is okay. Andrew says, I got a lot of compliments on my Corbett jersey. Got a few Jet chants going in DC. I'm so pumped for this season. That makes me excited. I'm excited for that. Corbett's my favorite former player. I have a signed football of him in the closet as well. I got to get that on display. I need to add another shelf somewhere because right now it's hidden in the closet, which is not great. GVH says, Titans week 1 on the road make Hopkins and Boyd realize what could have been. I don't know if we were ever in on Hopkins. There was rumors about Boyd. I don't think we ever brought him in for a visit either, though. It felt like, for at least Boyd, Lazard was like we hope to get more out of Lazard than paying Boyd to be Lazard and then also paying Lazard. Jimmy Jets with a good guess here. Maybe. We'll see. Wildwave says, I'm going to see the new one on Sunday, talking about the new Planet of the Apes. I like it. What the heck? How the heck do you... Oh, wait. Yeah, I guess that would make sense, right? I work at a golf course. Yeah. I get you. Q Lake says, Denver week 1. Let's pecker slap Knicks and teabag Peyton. Dude, I hope Knicks gets to sit and learn a little bit and we get Denver week 1 and we just fucking drag our nuts all over them. That's what I hope. That's what I want to see. Fingers crossed. Jeff C says, I heard a rumor that the first 4 games are on the road. Is this true? That would be very odd. That would be a really, really weird thing to see if the Jets were on the road the first 4 games. I'll be honest, I don't really want to play the cold games all at the end of the year at home. 4 games on the road. I hope that's not the case. There are rumors going around it's being done. I can tell you it is being done. I just don't know if it's going to be at our place. Is it official? Schedule announcement on Wednesday. That's what I've heard. I've heard schedule announcement. for Wednesday from Schefter. So I would think today, tomorrow, we wind up seeing leaks. Definitely Wednesday morning. We're going to know the full schedule before it's actually like released. We never actually know. Frankie, what if we go to London? I'd actually consider an international trip. Would be fun. So Frankie, that's actually the only other trip that I would consider. If we are playing in London this year, Becca and I had to cancel an Ireland trip last year because we were having our second kid, and I would consider going overseas. Now, traveling with 2 kids under 2.5 years old overseas doesn't sound super appealing. So there's definitely a part of me that hopes we don't get the London game this year because I would feel guilty not going to it. But if we did that, I would consider going to the London game. I don't know if I would go to Nashville then at that point. I don't know if I have that much in the budgets. Mars, Ryan, you get used to 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. games. 1 p.m. games are for loser teams with no hope. I agree. I actually do agree with this. So I think we are going to have, my guess, a London game. So it'd be a 9 a.m. start. We're 9 a.m. for us on the East Coast. We're going to have the Black Friday standalone game. So neither one of those are technically in prime time, but they are standalone games where they get show Rogers. We're going to have our one Thursday night game, which every team gets. And then I think we are definitely getting Sunday night, Monday night. So that's at least 5 standalone games. Whether or not they want to throw on another Sunday night or another Monday night, or maybe they flex us at the end of the season into one of those that they think might be more valuable, then I could see that happening. But I think 5 is the max primetime games you're allowed to have. I think that's what it is. Any chance we plan Black Friday again? I think so. I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen. I'm pretty sure Woody has like advocated for that being like the situation. Wild Wave says, I don't want to face Arizona and be the coming out party for Marvin Harrison Jr. I'm not too concerned about Marvin Harrison Jr. I would prefer facing a team that's not quite as much of an unknown. I think Kyler another year off the injury is going to play much better. And I would prefer maybe not knowing what we're going to do. So we'll see. Adam, gotta go to the Pittsburgh game this year. Is Pittsburgh away? Is that one of those? Nope, that's the wrong button, Ryan. I'm hitting things that don't make sense. Steelers game is away. Jaguars and Vikings are the 2 that could be in London. Tennessee, San Francisco would be kind of cool. Tennessee's really the one I would like to go to, though, if I'm being honest. Pittsburgh, I don't know so much. Twerking? Yeah, you said tweaking. I said twerking. My bad. Blitzkrieg says, any update on the putter? Let's see if I can do this real quick. I believe, I don't know what I told you last time when it was coming in. Let's see if it'll give me my ability. They may not have tracking on it yet. Order status. So it hasn't shipped yet. Does it say expected? Estimated arrival date. It's supposed to ship May 29th, Blitzkrieg. It says estimated arrival to be June 4th. So keep an eye out for that. So what is that, 2 weeks from now? 2 weeks from now it should ship. The Wedge. Hi, Rex. Hi, Ryan. We better not be 1-0 after the first game. Go Jets. Yeah, no, I don't want to see that either. Snowball says I'm predicting Steelers week 1. I could see that. A little bit of Russell Wilson, Nathaniel Hackett back and forth. Maybe that's something we see. I could see that. Schrager is predicting Dolphins at Jets week 1. I do like that. I like the idea of coming out of the gate and smacking Miami around. I do think Miami's better, obviously at full strength at the beginning part of the season and not playing in cold weather. I would prefer the Jet-Miami game to be in December. Make them work for it a little bit. As long as we don't have to play them in Miami week 1 or early summer where it's stupid hot. Infrared. What's good, dude? Nice seeing you here. Jimmy says, didn't Rodgers say he was told the Jets aren't going overseas this year? Oh, maybe. I don't know. If he did, I didn't see that. I did not know that. Blitzkrieg says, if we get the London game, I'm planning on going. That'd be cool. See you multiple times in a year, Blitzcrew. Be fun. Clancy, Arizona Jets fan, wants us all to go out there for that game and have a nice party. Is Arizona Jets fan in here? Is that, did I like totally glance over the name? I may have. Well, I want all Jet fans to have a good time, regardless of what team we're going out to see, right? Travel with them kids. They are lap kids at that time. Save the dough. Yeah, GVH, that's a good point. They at least get lapped up. I think it's under 36 inches. I think that's what it is. That's what NFL is, or at least the Jets. So if you want to bring your kid to a game, they can come. They don't have to buy a ticket if they're under 36 inches tall, which I should totally check and see what Shay's at right now. I think 3 feet's like this tall. She's probably getting close. I don't really know. I never measure her. But that's a good point. I just would feel really bad if that's like a 5-hour flight or a 6-hour flight overseas and like the kids just are inconsolable, just like crying or whining. I'd feel bad for the 200 other people that may not have wanted to travel with kids now traveling with kids. Oh, I'd feel so bad. It'd be very cool though. Infrared, damn, you're lucky, Blitz Crew. Only away game I'm going to is Tennessee. Tennessee's a good one though. That's the one I would go to. I definitely want to, I hope we get a London game. I think it'd be cool. But I also would not mind if we don't get it because then I don't feel bad about passing on it if I had to. Frankie says, I saw the Jets Vikings in London town. Yeah, I could see that. I think, I guess we don't really have any crossover with the Vikings so much. We were thinking maybe Zach could end up there at some point. The other one would be the Jaguars. And I don't know, Jaguars are always in London. I don't know. I guess I would, maybe Rodgers versus his former division rival makes a little bit more sexy. I don't know. Zachary said, actually, it would be Sam Darnold, right? It'd be Darnold versus the Jets. That'd be kind of cool. Or J.J. McCarthy. Zachary says, would you rather play J.J. or... Oh, duh. This is me being stupid and talking before I read the comment. Zachary, would you rather play J.J. or Sammy versus the Jets? Oh, man. Either. I don't care. We should win. If we don't win that game, regardless of who the quarterback is, I'd be upset. I guess I would prefer JJ just to like not have to beat down Sam. I would love to play JJ and have them forced to bring Sam in. Let's say it that way. Infrared. I like Dolphins or Pats for week 1. Would be awesome. I want to put our foot on their necks early, brothers. Yeah, if you could do that to the Patriots. The Patriots would be like a nice, I don't want to call it a fluff game, but it'd be very nice to be able to see like the Jets face a rookie quarterback early and this defense pin their ears back and say, listen, mother trucker, see this dirt? And by dirt, I mean rubber pellets on the ground because we're too lame to switch to dirt and grass. You're going to be eating it all day. That's what I want to see. Snowball comes in and says, let's go Rangers. I should totally turn on the game. I did not realize I did not have it in. Let me pull up the good old... is this YouTube? No. I want to go to YouTube TV. Come on. I believe my co-host, Mr. C, sitting in the background. Give me 1 second. Whoops. All right, so the Rangers are winning 1-0. Let's go. What a do. All right, I'm trying not to hear this quite so much. All right. Let's bring Mr. Dom C. Where's my computer mouse? Life is hard when I'm not paying attention. The one, the only, Mr. Dom C. How you doing?
Yo, Rye, what's up, dude? Sorry I'm late. I apologize,
right.
but my son just walked off and won his game in the bottom of the 6th, man. So proud. Proud dad moment, man.
I was just about to ask you, and I'm so proud that he won. Oh, little C,
proud
lowercase
dad
c.
moment. He roped the double to bring in the win and run, man. I was so happy.
Now, are you the coach of that team, or are you just like watching in the stands?
Yeah. No. I coach both of the boys, so that's why I'm late, guys. Chat, nice to see you all. It's been a while, so I apologize, man.
Was it like a T-ball type hit, or was it like no. You pitched it and he cranked it?
No, he hit it off of another kid, and he just roped a double right down the right down the right field line, man.
Love it. That's a good dad moment. That's friggin' sweet.
Great, kidding me? Great dad moment.
So we're just going through a few chat comments, things like that, because there's not really a whole lot going on in Jettown. But I didn't get to see you last week, so any thoughts on, I guess, our draft class now that you've maybe chewed it through a little bit? Give your reactions overall to that, and then we'll kind of talk about some schedule predictions, things of that nature.
Yeah. So, listen, I was back and forth, and I leaned offensive line, and then towards the end of the draft cycle, I had warmed up to the idea of a weapon, but it didn't work out that way. I know they tried to move up to get 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐂 and possibly Neighbors, but I think that move up to 6 was really for 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐂. They settled on the best offensive lineman that they had on their board. He was my offensive tackle 3. I love the fact that we now have a left tackle under contract for the next 4 years, plus the 5th-year option. That's one position that we don't have to overpay in free agency, no matter what happens with Tyron Smith next year. And then you go into the 𝐒𝐿 𝐂 pick, and for all the people that were very pro Brock Bowers, and I was too. I don't know if I was pro Brock Bowers at 10, but I love the player. I think 𝐒𝐿 𝐂 does a lot of the similar things that all the pro Brock Bowers clan really wanted. Does good work with the ball in his hands in space. The yards after the catch, all that stuff. So yeah, I think the offense now, at least weapon-wise, you have touch points all over the field, right? You got guys that, could take the top off or get deep or in the red zone like Mike Williams. You got Garrett, who works all over the field. Tyler Conklin, Jeremy Rucker can get up the seams and kind of settle in those soft zones. And now you got guys in Breece Hall and 𝐒𝐿 𝐂 who can get the ball in their hands in space and let them make magic. So I like the fit. At full disclosure, I probably would have preferred a more traditional type wide receiver. I had Roman Wilson higher rated in my class. I had Javon Baker rated higher in my class. So, gun to my head, I probably would have taken one of those two, but I'm not upset with the pick. And then you follow up with the 2 running backs before I get into Jordan Travis. The 2 running backs, I really like that. I like the idea that you bring in a little bit of guys who offer something that the room as a whole has been missing, right? You offer guys that can get some grimy, dirty, physical yards between the tackles, that have phenomenal contact balance, that are always falling forward, that can make people miss, that are elusively quick for their size, but they're strong runners. Now, in this day and age, maybe Joe Douglas is zigging when everyone's trying to zag. We got more and more teams are throwing light boxes and base nickel defenses out there, and linebackers that are 205, 210 pounds. So it's clear that we brought a little bit more beef up front to try to, make the attack on the ground a little bit more powerful. So these 2 guys fit that bill. And on top of it, I think they're both ready to step in right here, right now, and protect, in pass protection right now. Jordan Travis for me is the big, pink elephant in the room, because, Ryan, he wasn't my favorite prospect. I love the leadership stuff, and I love the head that he's got on him. His film was so for me. And I don't know. Like, to me, I'd say if best case scenario is you got yourself a very good backup. You got yourself a guy, a Tyrod Taylor clone who can come in and might be able to start a couple games here or there down the road in a couple years and won't kill you. But I don't know how high his ceiling is, and I hope to God, Jet fans, that I'm wrong. I hope he proves me wrong and he ends up being a starter in this league down the road. But
your evaluation of Travis now, where would you have put him had he not been hurt? Because I've heard a lot of people say he would have gone as early as the 2nd round potentially without the injury. Is that something that would you have put him as maybe a 3rd round pick or a 4th round pick?
No.
Where do you fall on that?
I had a 6th round grade on him. I don't think I adjusted. I didn't adjust that. His 6th round grade was based off of the 2 years of film that I really watched. There was improvements. There's definitely a lot to be cleaned up. His throwing motion can be a little bit long, although he has a good arm. His throwing motion can be a little bit long. His footwork's very sloppy, inaccurate he's cleaned that up over from 22 to 23. I mean, from 23 to 24, or no, 22 to 23.
Mm-hmm.
He cleaned up a lot of the inaccuracy issues, but it also helps when you have guys like 𝐃𝐨𝐦 𝐂 and Johnny Wilson, who are just big old catch radiuses that can help clean some of that stuff up. So listen, I had a day 3 grade on him. That's where he went. So I'm not going to complain about it. Like, I understand the idea of wanting to bring in some youth into this room and kind of let him sit and let him marinate. You know, God forbid you have to play him anytime soon. So, yeah. So listen, I don't think he wasn't my favorite quarterback. I think I had 9 quarterbacks rated over him, or 8 quarterbacks rated over him. You know, I thought Spencer Rattler was the guy that they really should have honed in on. I think he's got really good, you know, starter potential. I think his upside is a decent starter in the Baker Mayfield range. I don't know if Travis is that yet. And again, I hope to be proven wrong. And then I don't have much on the kid 𝐂 from Alabama, Mr. Irrelevant. He was just yeah, he's just I don't know. I don't know much about him. I can't say, I'm not going to sit here and lie and say I watched a lot of his film, because I didn't. You know,
your
he
reaction
didn't
to that pick
pop
was
out.
fantastic, by the way. Did you watch it back after?
Yeah, I did. I'll say this much: I watched a lot of the Alabama defense when I was watching Terrion Arnold, when I was watching the defensive line, the edge rushers, and he did not pop out to me. So, you know, it is what it is. You know, maybe they have a role for him. Maybe he's a special teams contributor, and there we go. That's my draft class in a nutshell.
What about Stiggers?
Very happy. I forgot about Stiggers. Yeah, Stiggers is interesting because no one really, like, I knew who Stiggers was because I knew he was down at the Shrine Bowl, and I knew they had a kid from the CFL, and I know that he played well down there. And I did have access, and I watched some of the Shrine Bowl practices during the February, March months. But I haven't watched him in games, so I think that's exciting, man. I think what you get in here is you're building some pipeline, right? You're building some depth that can come in and play. Certain roles in dime defenses. He's going to take over the Bryce Hall role. Maybe he's your next Brandon Eccles if you don't bring Eccles back. Maybe he has a chance even to push as a starter if you don't do anything with DJ Reed next year. So I said it from the get-go. That I thought cornerback was an area they were going to address, and they did. And him being experienced at the professional level, even though it's Canadian football, and still only being 22 years old, sky's the limit. Now, some people talk about maybe him converting over to safety over the next couple years. I don't know. I want to see. I really want to watch him before I make that kind of judgment or assessment. So
now, what would you say your grade overall in the class was, or like any major criticisms?
Listen. If it's a criticism, I'll call it that. Like I said, I would have went a different way if they wanted to go quarterback. I don't necessarily. Still don't know. Well, actually, I shouldn't say I don't know. I understand. I don't know if I agree with the all trading back out of the 4th round and doing all that stuff. Like, they had honed in. It's clear they had honed in on Jordan Travis. It's clear that they had honed in on Isaiah Davis, and it's clear that after they got Olu and Malachi Corley, those are the 2 guys they wanted. And anything else was going to be kind of fluff. So they knew where they could get them. I'm not opposed. I wasn't necessarily upset that they traded out of the 4th round to get a 3rd rounder next year. I think that's pretty good value. But like I said, I think they maybe got a little bit too cute. I would have loved to see, like I said, I was a Javon Baker fan. Him sitting there in the 4th round. I think they maybe could have made a play there. If I have any criticisms,
trade up though. He went 1.
Oh, that's right. He went to New England before. You're right.
Yeah,
You're right.
And then I felt like we panicked and took less to move out. Like, it wouldn't have shocked me if we went Baker there, to be honest.
Yeah. If I have any sort of gripe, like I said, I would have honed in on Spencer Rattler over Jordan Travis. That's just me. And
where did Rattler end up going? Do you remember what round?
New Orleans, 5th round.
Oh,
he went a couple. Okay. He went a couple picks right before Jordan Travis.
Mm-hmm.
So they could have had him. They could have owned. And again, that's just a personal preference. I just think that Spencer Rattler is going to be a better pro.
I'm with you.
I could be, and I hope I'm wrong on that.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we got our guy now, Jordan Travis.
Yeah.
He's the bee's knees. If we get Tyrod Taylor-like performance out of Jordan Travis, that is a home run pick, in my opinion. Now, obviously, you love to see an heir apparent to Rodgers, but someone that could at least compete and be a baseline solid vet, I'm totally good with. I'm in agreement with you. I thought trading out in the 4th round was something I didn't particularly like. There was a lot of good talent that was there. God, who is it? TJ Tampa was one. Because like you, I am very
Cam Hart. Cam Hart was my guy.
I know you're a big Cam Hart guy, but like any one of those corners at that point in the draft would have been such a good move with some foresight of, hey, Reed's going to be leaving, Eccles is going to be leaving, Michael Carter. I hope we re-sign him, but he's up on a contract after this year. Imagine having like a 6'2" and a 6'3" Sauce and friggin' TJ Tampa on either end. That's a monster freak show of a cornerback room.
And listen, I thought TJ Tampa would have been a really good fit in our quarter scheme defense, playing off man. I think that's probably where he would have made it. And Cam Hart definitely. Like I said, I don't know if he kicks puppies or something like that, but for him to the fall of 5th round to me was very mind boggling. Like I said, and everyone's eyes are different, but like I had a top 30 grade on him. I thought he was. Yeah, he was number. I think he was number 29 in my class.
Holy smokes, we made a mistake then.
Somebody made a mistake, maybe me.
No,
I could be wrong.
You. Can't be you. Dylan comes in. Dylan says, "Did you see the whole Pat schedule got leaked? We play them week 3 away and week 13 at home, according to the leak." Ooh, I did not see that was leaked out. But Pat's week 3 would be interesting. That kind of falls in line with literally every single time we play them. Yeah. Like recently, it's like then and then like the end. This is probably actually closer to the Dolphins game stretch last year, or not last year, maybe 2 years ago when we had the stiff arm from Quinnen, and then a little bit later on too. Although I think that might.
Yeah, last year was week 3 and week 7, I believe we played them, right, or week 3 and week 8
for the Patriots.
But Pat's week 3 lines up with that schedule I gave you, right? Let's see if that thing comes out real.
Did you give me a schedule?
I did.
Did you check? Like. Oh, wait, did you send one beforehand?
I sent one to you.
No, you said we got a tie in here. What are you talking about? What schedule did you send me?
I sent you a copy of a possible leak. I didn't want to post it in case it was fake, and I don't want my name attached to it. But
I definitely...
I'll resend it. Yeah,
resend it, because I don't got a link in here. How long ago would that have been? Well, I'm back in March now, and I still don't see it.
Couple weeks. Hang on. I'll send it back to you. I'll send it through DM.
Yeah, I want to see it. That would be really neat. Main Jets fan says, Ryan, I'm so excited but scared for this season. We got to do another group buy. Let's go Jets. Yeah, 100%. We're definitely going to do it. It's probably going to end up being the home opener, whatever that winds up being. I think that's what we've discussed. It's just a matter of what those tickets cost, who we're playing, and what time and day it's on. So we're not sure what any of that is, but we'll find out Wednesday. Sneakers to Boot says, I'm trying to pull off going to California as long as possible. Trying to pull off going to California. Just trying to put off. Sorry, not pull off. Put off going to California as long as possible. Sneakers to Boots doesn't want to see San Francisco, LA, or LA, I guess. So those are, yeah, I said that right. Because Oakland's no longer over there.
Correct.
Yeah, I feel you. San Francisco would be interesting. I think from a 49ers perspective. Not a whole lot of games on the away schedule that were really enticing. Like Arizona doesn't seem like crazy exciting for me. Is there a game on the schedule, Dom, that you see and be like, wow, that'd be a fun away game to go to?
Well, I mean, I think San Francisco would be fun. Tennessee, I'm sure. I think Tennessee would be a really good game. I think Tennessee's underrated. I think Pittsburgh away is. I think we match up very, very well with Pittsburgh, and meaning both teams are relatively fair and equally balanced. I'd love that matchup. I'd love to go to Pittsburgh to see that game.
Yeah, someone was mentioning they think that might be the week 1 game. That would be a fun like Russell Wilson versus Nathaniel Hackett type game with some storylines between Russ and Rodgers, and like Russ was the quarterback that came in because they couldn't get Rodgers, and like there's some storylines they could build around it. Farouk comes in and says, if people don't want to deal with kids on the plane, buy noise-canceling headphones. F them. Yeah, I still feel bad about it. I don't want to be the guy that absolutely annihilates a plane ride. We were talking about going over for London and having 2 young kids on a plane. Like, I don't want to subject everyone on that plane to screaming 1 and 2-year-olds.
No, that's why they make NyQuil, man. I'm kidding, Ryan. Don't give your kids NyQuil. I don't.
Yeah, I got to put on CoComelon and let them pass out.
Now, me and my wife had talked about if we're in London, depending when they go, that me and my wife would sneak out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's something that Becca and I have considered as well. Sneakers Boots says, "Who is your underwhelming team we lose to?" So I guess I'll pull that up real quick. We got the schedule.
So I sent you my possible leak also in DMs.
Where'd you send it? Like Twitter?
Jets Talk 24/7 Twitter DM, yeah.
Twitter.
Now, and I was wrong because this one has New England week 5.
Ooh.
And week 10.
Are you sure? I don't think you sent me this. Maybe you sent me this.
I did.
All right, so that would be interesting. Home away. So that would have Seattle as the home opener. I won't rattle off everything here, unless you want me to.
Listen, I didn't put it out there because I don't know if I necessarily trust the source. So I wanted to see if the source came true before I knew I had something good. So
but screw them then.
I mean, it starts with Tennessee and Tennessee on the road, and then Seattle at home are the first 2 games.
So let's see. This is the game according to potentially, maybe rumors, possibly not, but it's okay. If that were the case, Tennessee week 1, I see that's the one I'm hoping isn't what it's going to be, because I don't want to travel to Tennessee as my away game and then also have to do the group bye week 2 like the next day. So I'm hoping this isn't the case. Seattle as a home opener would be interesting. Is there anything? Yeah. I don't like the week 6 bye. I'm hoping that with Rodgers being here, the NFL is going to want us to have a little bit more rest later in the season.
Well, you know what doesn't make sense to this, and again, guys, this is just something that somebody sent to me. I'm not claiming that I have any source yet. Let's see if it comes true. But the thing I don't understand here is that I don't know if we would have a London game if this is the case, or we're going to play London and then come right back the next week and get it. You know, normally the if you play out in London or you know across the pond, usually have the bye week following, so you have that adjustment coming back.
Interesting. Yeah, so that would be the 13. Although I guess you could do. I guess the London game's always on a Sunday, right? So, and if it was Jacksonville or Minnesota, is week 14 Black Friday?
Hang on 1 second. Right?
I think let's see. Let's see. Does that fall on? Nope, it's the week before. So week 13 would be the Black Friday game. So I'm going to say this isn't going to be correct. So I think we're going to get the Black Friday game. I don't have any sources on that, but I feel like the Jets are going to.
Well, it could be Indianapolis. That's what I was thinking. Indianapolis. I didn't match up weeks to whatnot. So
I think so. When I typed in week 14 into Google for NFL schedule, unless this is showing me this past year's, it might. Week 14, December 6th to December 12th. So I'm pretty sure that actually it might be even week 12. Week 12, it might be the Rams. That could be it. Because that would be November 22nd to November 28th. I think that's Thanksgiving weekend. Because the other one would be November 29th to December 5th.
That would be a pretty cool Black Friday game, the Rams.
It would. That would. Imagine we go, so it'd be away for San Francisco, then home on a short week against the Rams, then potentially in London for Jacksonville if it worked out that way. Who knows? That'd be kind of cool though. It'd be neat. Yeah. I don't think it's a wrong schedule necessarily.
Who knows, man? Like I said, I didn't put it out there to put my name on it because I don't trust something until I know it's a true source. People send me stuff all the time, say, "Hey, I got this, I got that."
So you heard Dom C first here. This is a legit source. That is the schedule. That's. I'm kidding. Let's see. Oh, but we didn't go into this. So Sneakers to Boots had said, "Who is your underwhelming team we lose to?" I feel like that is a very interesting thought
underwhelming.
Yeah, I guess we don't necessarily know which team is underwhelming, but from a standpoint right now, I feel like if we lose to New England, I'd be pretty irritated. I want to sweep them.
Yeah, well, here's the thing, and this is what I don't get about the the schedules are going to come out and everyone's going to make their wins and loss predictions. Here's what I never understand about that. We're basing it off of what? Off of last year's records, because
when
we don't know
30% of the people on the team weren't there.
And we don't know if come week 11 when we play San Francisco, if half their offense is going to get hurt. How many teams, when the schedule came out last year, marked the Jets as a loss, not knowing we're going to have an offensive line and Aaron Rodgers. So it's an exercise of futility, if to call it best. But I don't know. Listen, if we lose to Arizona or New England, no matter who's the situation, I'll be pretty bummed.
Yeah,
I think talent-wise, we're much better than those two teams.
So of the, what is this, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, of the 17? Oh, yeah, 17 games. I thought they weren't showing the team source. The division.
Oh, and Denver, too. Denver, we should beat Denver.
Yeah. I think when I'm looking at this list, San Francisco is the only team I look at and say, that roster's better than ours. I think you could argue maybe to some degree the Texans, the Rams, but I feel like San Francisco.
I think you can argue if we're being fair, Miami and Buffalo as well.
You think Buffalo would be up there for talent on a roster with us?
I think Buffalo's a team. Buffalo's a team to beat until they're beat. Right.
I agree. I think looking at them on paper would surprise me. Obviously, I think Allen's the number 2 quarterback in the league, but looking at the rest of the team, I'd be a little surprised. I feel like our roster is, obviously green tinted glasses on over here, but I feel like we got a good friggin' roster.
Yeah, I know. Absolutely. I think we're on par. There, San Francisco, Miami, sweeping Miami is going to be tough. It just always is. Sweeping Buffalo is going to be tough. It always is. So if you said that those are 3 losses, right? You can write in magic marker, I wouldn't argue with that. If you said we split with Buffalo, split with Miami, losses at San Francisco, I'm not going to argue there. You know what I mean?
Joey says, I would love to see the Patriots and Jets in week 1 so we could have them back-to-back wins against them after losing 20 in a row. Yeah, it'd be kind of nice to hey, yeah, we're on a 2-game win streak dating back to last year. We shellacked the Patriots twice.
Yeah.
Love it. Beat them 3 times in a calendar year. That sounds exactly where I'd like to be. Let's see. Just going through the chat. GBH
I see. Everyone's asking me about my Miami Marlins hat. My son's team is the Marlins.
Okay.
That I coach.
You're forgiven. I was looking at it and I was like, it just stands for I wish this was a Jets hat.
My son's team is the Marlins that I coach. I got one son who's the Marlins, one son who's the Mariners. So
that's all right.
That's the hats I wear.
We forgive him. That's totally fine. Frankie says, pretty sure Perrion Winfrey's a free agent. Too bad he got injured. Had a chance to stick around if he impressed. So he's a free agent? Do we know if there's any?
Yeah, we did not re-sign. We could have offered him a contract at the end of the year, and we chose not to. Probably more so because of the injury. He was a guy I was really excited about. He was one of those that he had hit NFL rock bottom. Kind of being bounced around, got into some trouble, so on and so forth, and had all the potential in the world. I don't know if you remember a couple years back, Frankie probably does. He was a Senior Bowl standout. Great, he was a Senior Bowl MVP. Great year coming in. I mean, he was a 2nd-round draft pick for a reason. He's talented. He's a guy I would have liked to see, and maybe, who knows? Maybe he gets healthy and he comes back. But maybe you still get the same kind of play out of. Maybe you can coerce Leonard Taylor into starting to love football again.
That's what I was just going to say. Leonard Taylor's the one name that Jet fans have kind of circled and said, hey, this undrafted free agent, this guy was, a year ago deemed potentially a 1st-round pick, effort, out of position. What are your thoughts on him, how he could stick with the Jets and the trade of JFM and how maybe he could fill that void?
Yeah, I don't know if he's the fit for that. I got to be honest with you. The guy I think that no one's talking about enough is the kid, Eric Watts from UConn that we also signed as the undrafted free agent. He's got more of the body type. He's more of your 4-3 edge setting run defender. I think Leonard Taylor. Listen, Leonard Taylor is much more everything. Everything that's wrong with him is between the ears. So if he can find the motivation, and he can find the passion for the game, there's no denying the God-given talent. But he's more of a slasher. He's more of your 3-tech pressing, get after the quarterback guy from the interior. Again, I think you hit it on the head before. He was kind of miscast as a 2-gapping 1-tech last year. That's just not his forte. You want him to get in there. You want him to abuse and press the pocket from the inside, use his speed, use his agility, so on and so forth. So
Blitzkrieg comes and says, 51 milk thumbs. I thought we were better than that, boys and girls. Hit those milk thumbs.
Milk thumbs.
Show us some love. Got about 14 minutes left in the stream. Very much appreciate some love going on. Raging Jets fan says, Ryan, have you ever framed your own jersey? Is it tough?
Look at
these two back here, those are, they're not framed. They're on frames, if you will. I'll grab one. I'll show you what it is.
And while Ryan's doing that, Frankie from Flatbush, nice to see you, buddy. Love that we're seeing you back around. And he's talking about Thor Nystrom from Fantasy Pros, I believe. Love his content. He said that Watts was graded higher. Listen, I'm not going to claim that Watts is the second coming of John Abraham or anything like that, but he's a guy who he's got the skill set that works with this defense. Now you put him in there with White Cotton and Ulbrich and let them really coach him up and listen, you might have a guy that can stick on the roster. You might have a guy that's or maybe ends up being better than Michael 𝐒𝐿 is.
Yeah, for sure. This is my jersey that is not really framed, but I cut it open, and this is just some wood that I created a frame out of. And then I flipped it over it, stapled it, bam, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. This was one of those 𝐑𝐲𝐚𝐽 specials, so I did not slice up one of those $150 jerseys. But yes, framing a jersey is definitely not easy. I looked into so many ways to do it, and I just came up with that way. I don't know if there's like a better way than that to do it, but that's what I do.
Well, there's this way.
That's a good way to do it. So you did it well where it doesn't reflect the light. I noticed when I had a framed picture of Quinnen Williams on my wall. We actually raffled it off at the draft party. But I had it on my wall, and I noticed the lights, because the angle that my desk is set up, it reflected into the glass. So that's the only reason I didn't do like the plexiglass clear on top of it.
Well, you could see me. I usually have, if you notice, like one of the Jets towels from the Take Flight thing. I usually have it here because you can see my reflection in the back.
Yeah, I got a little bit. It's all right.
It just fell down, so I just didn't put it back up yet. Yeah.
It does look good though, because you could actually like see who's inside of the jersey. It's not like the ones I was looking at. It just did not work well whatsoever. Blitzkrieg comes in and says, Taylor, not the same as JFM, but may give us some of the interior pass rush that we lost. Hopefully 𝐒𝐿 can rebound and play the run on the outside. Yeah, I want to see 𝐒𝐿 drop a little bit of weight. I don't really want to see him play at his current weight. I think if he does and he performs similarly to how we saw last year, I don't think he's going to make the roster. I hope he does, because he was fun to watch 2 years ago.
I don't know if he's an automatic cut. I mean, I think a lot of people are down. I think a lot of people are down and sour on Michael 𝐒𝐿. Listen, I think he's just what he is. He's probably a one contract player. They drafted him old. He was 25 when he came on. You're gonna, rinse, lather, and repeat. And that's what a guy like we talked about, Eric Watts from UConn can do. And that's what all these guys that are just going to be the 50th and 51st man on the roster. That's what their role is going to be. I don't know if Michael 𝐒𝐿, he does play a lot of special teams. I mean, Christ, he blocked a kick last year, didn't he? I believe he did.
Was it last year or 2 years ago? Might have been 2 years ago.
2 years ago. Yeah. I don't know. I don't see him. I don't see him stepping up. The one guy, and I'd love your thoughts on this, Ryan, and even the chat. The one guy I think people are really sour on, and are kind of underplaying is 𝐒𝐿 𝐂.
Oh, dude. Yeah, I completely agree with you. I am very, very high on 𝐂 comparatively to like anyone else that I've talked about. Now, I don't like the contract. I think we overpaid him, but I think he's one of those players that's trending up right now. We're going to get a good year from him, and then we're going to get a comp pick because he leaves. I'm very high on 𝐂 this year.
Yeah, I don't think people make assessments on his play based on his contract. Now, whether it's an overpay or not at $6.5 million, that's it's not my money, so I don't really care. But I think he's coming into his own. He was a little bit healthier last year. He struggled with some injuries, so he's another guy. Like I said, you get these guys have some upside in a scheme that we have with the players on the defense around them, coached up by really good guys who know how to develop defensive players. Like the arrow's pointing up for 𝐒𝐿 𝐂 for me.
Completely agree. I'm a little thrown off right now because I got sent an image that is, it's shaking me to my core. So the last like 3 days, I was working on building a shelf downstairs for behind my couch. And I was like, I want it to be stained. I cut some like outlet holes. So I have like USB fast chargers through it, plugs, and cup holders. And Becca sent me it. And I think she's trying to show me that she's using the shelf and she's really happy about it. But she's not using the cup holder. It's on top of the damn shelf. I'm like, I have half a mind to like, you know what? I'm going to call her right now. Let's see. I got to figure out. See if she picks up. She'll be like, what the hell are you doing? Come on.
Becca.
It's not even ringing yet. It's on like the waiting to call portion. Well, I won't take up any more of our time. I don't know why it's irritating. Ugh. Now, I either got a cup holder that was too small for the massive cup that she had, which I don't think I did because I did measure every single cup that was larger in our house to make sure that they all fit in the cup holder. And the fact that it's not using the cup. Oh, see, now Joey Jets wants me to put on speaker. Let's see if I can get her to do it. Oh, it's going.
Hello?
Hey, quick question. You're on stream right now, so don't say anything stupid. But the picture you sent me, very cool. Yeah. I like that you're using the shelf. Does the cup fit in the cup holder?
It does. I had it in there before, but then I wanted to take the picture and show you.
Okay, I had a little mini panic attack that I built something that didn't actually.
Fits.
All right.
Fine.
Okay. Thank you. I love
you. Thank you, Becca. Thank you.
Oh, geez. I was like, man, if I just spent the last 3 days building this damn shelf thing and it's not actually going to work, that makes me feel good. Thank you, Becca. That's great. Frankie comes in and says, by the way, for all the SUNY baseball fans out there, SUNY New Paltz Hawks won the SUNYAC championships yesterday. Well, good for SUNY New Paltz. I went to SUNY Binghamton. Technically SUNY, but they don't like being called SUNY. Binghamton University is where I went. So I'm part of the SUNY crew. You're Jersey, right?
I went to Temple University in Philadelphia, but I'm Jersey through and through.
There you go. I like it.
Yes, sir.
What else we got going on in the chat? Wild Wave thinks Kinlaw is going to be a beast. I like that. Billy says, none of the teams on our schedule can beat us. Does it really matter the order?
Billy, I love that, Billy. Yeah, I love that.
I'm hoping, I want to see at least 11 wins. I'm hoping for 12. 12-5 is the season that I'm like really hoping for and like a shot at a first round bye. What do you think, Dom? Based on our opponents.
Listen, hard to say. The games are played 60 minutes on the field. That haven't happened yet. I like our chances with our roster against anybody. I'll leave it at that. Yeah, listen, 12 wins would be ideal. Get me into the playoffs, however it comes, is what my bottom is.
That's a good way to put it. Infrared says, Kinlaw is only 26 years old. Yeah, look, there's a lot of upside there. He was a former, what was he, top 14, top 15 pick, I think?
Yeah. Yep.
So, like...
They traded the Buckner, DeForest Buckner,
That's right. That was the
to
Colts.
get a first round pick to draft him.
I like it. I like the. I mean, his biggest issue has just been like injury. I'm pretty sure. And last year was the first year he was actually healthy.
Yep. He's got some upside, man. I mean, listen, is he the best defensive tackle in the league? No. But neither was Quentin Jefferson when he came in here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and playing in that defensive scheme where he's going to have one-on-one matchups a lot. Like, I'll take my chances. I'll run with that.
Sneakers Boot says, when and who JD does re-sign in Reed and Michael Carter II, tired of watching him sit on his hands when it comes to signing our guys. Be proactive. So I think the reason we haven't seen that yet is because of his expiring contract. And by him, I mean Joe Douglas. There's no reason for him to extend anyone in the final year of their contract if he doesn't have an extension already. That's an issue that I think I would like to see rectified. And who knows, maybe come training camp, if they're healthy and they get through all training camp, they're like, hey, Michael Carter, we're gonna give you the contract. Now, I do think once you give Michael Carter the contract, and if you don't give Reed the contract, there might be some feelings there.
Well, I think it's ultimately going to come down to one or the other. I don't think they're both going to get re-signed. So I'll side towards the youth and the skill set of the slot cornerback over Reed. Not to say that I don't like DJ Reed. I love DJ Reed, but it gun to my head, if I have to choose one, give me Michael Carter all day.
Yeah, that would be my take as well. Mainly because I think Reed's going to sign such a nice contract because of how he has performed that I think we can get a really good comp pick for him, where I don't know if I see Michael Carter getting a big enough contract for us to get the
well, I also think it's going to be hard to give Reed a big contract knowing that you're going to have to pay Sauce, right? And you don't want to commit, $15-20 million a year to Reed when you're going to have to pay 20 plus for Sauce. That ties up a lot of money in one positional group, right there.
I would bet Sauce gets 5 years, 125 with like 100 guaranteed. I think that's what it shakes out to be. He's going to have a monster deal when it's done. Yeah. And depending on how, I mean, it should be done after this season, I would think, because this is year 2, or he's going into year 3. And I would think of anyone that we drafted that year, he's the one that makes the most sense to re-sign immediately. But you do run into the issue of like, okay, now you've got Garrett, you've got Brees, you've got JJ all on the same timeline. Who do you do with the contracts and stuff? Going to be interesting to see. Cuddy comes in, says 4 first-round starters on the defensive line: JJ, McDonald, Kinlaw, and Quinnen. Feels good. Definitely feels good. You know you got the pedigree there for sure.
And don't forget Reddick.
Yeah, Reddick was a high pick. Clancy, Brees, even though he won't like it, could be franchised once, even twice if we wanted. So I would like to see us give a contract to Brees after this year and lock him in for the next 3. And if that's like the equivalent of his 5th-year option plus 2 franchise tags, but we're going to give it to you right now because we support you and that's what we want to do, I'm fine with that. I think he would probably be fine with that. I think that the year over year of 1-year deal, 1-year deal, 1-year deal is probably more of an issue than anything else. But I would love to see him resign him. Do you think Brees gets franchise tagged in the end, or do you think we wind up giving him some type of deal either this year or next year?
I would probably, and I don't like it. Brees is one of my favorite players, but I don't see them paying long term into the position. It seems to me that, especially if Joe Douglas is here, his mindset is, he's going to draft running backs. He's going to keep replenishing that room and not pay a lot of money to it. So I could see Brees maybe getting a franchise and then adios.
Billy says the Jets are at least as good with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. That's 14 wins right there, or at least twice as good with Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, look, maybe we get to 14. I think with Rodgers playing last year, you probably at least get to 10. You probably win the first Patriot game. You probably win the Raider game. And I'm trying to run through games real quick. Maybe the Charger game doesn't get out of hand. Zach really screwed us hard in the Charger game. And maybe there's something else in there. Fingers crossed. Got to get at least to 10 wins, I would think.
Yeah, at least. Minimum.
let's see. Oh, we have reached the end of our show. So let's do this. Dom, any
Yes, sir.
last words for our chat out there?
Listen, if you guys haven't, shameless plug, Project Prospect with Dom C. Still got some content going out. I'm going through all 32 teams, doing a state of the franchise with a content creator for each one of the teams. I just filmed the New York Giants one that'll be out tomorrow. I have the Bills coming up with talking with a really good guy, my friend Anthony from the Cover One team. He's awesome. So we're gonna do a deep dive breakdown of the Bills, and got that going in the off season while until training camp starts. So all 32 teams will be touched on and talk about the state of the franchise and a lot more Jet stuff as it pertains when it's ready. Right now it's a little quiet, so just getting ready and rolling. Got some 25 film on deck that I've just been kind of taking a slow roll at. Haven't really delve into it. Baseball season's crazy for me and the kids, so.
Yeah, and we'll get into some of our film breakdowns of some of the draft picks we got over the course of the summer as we get past the schedule release and everything like that. We'll take some looks at some of our players that you might want to keep an eye on, because this is Talkin' Jets draft. We could even, as we get closer to the season, keep an eye on our own draft picks, but also just sort of peek ahead to players that you might want to keep an eye on throughout the collegiate season as well.
And we'll definitely do that as the season goes on. We will definitely get into do some film breakdowns. We'll bring it on here and talk about some prospects. And even, we talked about Ryan. We'll talk about some of these undrafted guys over the next couple of weeks. We can dive into them a little bit deeper if you want to. I'm cool with that.
Dano, right at the end here, says, rather than number of wins, can you give me a prediction of how many games you feel we might be favored in at the time of kickoffs? All of them except San Francisco is what I expect. I think we will be favored in all. Maybe if we get Miami, like in Miami week 1, maybe we aren't favored for that. But I would think more often than not, I would say a solid 80% of our games, assuming Rodgers is healthy and the defense is as advertised, I think we're favorites in a lot of games.
I could see us being underdogs on the road in Buffalo and Miami. I could see us being underdogs in San Francisco. I could see us possibly being underdogs in Pittsburgh. It's a tough place to play. And I think that, like I said, I think we're very comparable in rosters.
I like it. Boys and girls, make sure you hit that like button on the way out. See if you can get us over 100 likes. We greatly appreciate it. This is Talkin' Jets Draft signing off. J-E-T-S.